Hi everybody, today I'm going to teach the class how to make chocolate chip cookies with Oreos in the middle. So the recipe that I'm following today is just off the back of this chocolate chip package. The first thing that the recipe calls for is for the oven to be preheated to 375, so that's what I did first. And then the next thing I did was set out all my ingredients to make sure that I had everything that the recipe calls for. So this recipe calls for white flour, white sugar, brown sugar, vanilla, eggs, baking soda, butter, and salt. So usually you're going to want all your dry ingredients and all your wet ingredients combined in separate bowls. So I went ahead and did that. I combined my butter, sugar, and eggs and vanilla in one bowl, and my flour and baking soda in the separate bowl. Alright, so after you've combined your wet ingredients and dry ingredients into separate bowls, the recipe calls for the dry ingredients to be gradually combined into the wet. So I'm just going to put a little bit of the flour into the wet and mix it together. Don't use a whisk. Alright, so after you've combined your wet and dry ingredients, it should all mix together to look like a cookie dough. The next thing you're going to want to do is add your chocolate chips. This recipe calls for 1 whole package of chocolate chips. Put them in there and mix it together. So after you've mixed your dough together, that is what your dough should look like when everything's done. Alright, so now it's time to put our cookie dough on the cookie sheet. You're going to want a cookie sheet about that big. You're going to take a spoonful of dough about this big, and then you're going to lay it out on your cookie sheet so that it's kind of flattened out a little bit. And then you're going to take an Oreo and put it in the middle of the dough and kind of pack the dough around the Oreo so the Oreo looks like it's in a little bed of dough. And take as much of the dough from the side as you can and kind of like build it up around the Oreo so it makes like a little mountain of dough around the Oreo. And then take a spoonful of dough a little bit smaller than the one you did before and put it on top of the Oreo. So just enough so that the Oreo is covered in dough. So that is what all your cookies should look like. It's kind of like a little mound of dough. Alright, so now you're going to place the cookies that are now on your cookie sheet in the oven for 8 to 10 minutes. So after you let them cool, you take them off the cookie sheet and put them on a cooling rack to let them finish cooling. And enjoy! Now I hope you guys all know how to make these delicious cookies. Thanks for watching!